Flowers. My name is Becky and this is
Mary.
And we're here to get you started with your seed planting today. In this video, we will cover important growing information, how to determine when to start seeds, how many to start, best container sizes, and we will make a plan together. So before we dive in, make sure to download the planning guide found in the description box. Not only will it serve as a notebook for the video, you'll have access to cheat sheets, charts, design templates, and more. In this video and guide, the pictures and examples are for an annual summer cut flower garden. As a beginner, we recommend that this is where you start. First and funmost is deciding what you'd like to grow. 3 to 5 flowers is a good place to start. Too many flowers can get complicated and lead to feeling defeated. After a season or two, expand. Here are examples of flower pairing that we do here on the farm. Notice how you do not need a great deal of variety to make a bouquet. Once you have an idea of the flowers you'd like to grow, it's time to do a little research and collect growing information. Use the chart in the guide to record the information you've collected. The information we need can usually be found on seed packets or through descriptions from an online company. You will want to note germination time, that's the time it takes the seed to produce a little sprout. Recommended time to start before the last frost date in your zone. Spacing, light, and soil requirements. So do make note of your last frost date. We will use that later on when we make our schedule. For now, let's draft out our garden. So before I got started, I went and listed the flowers that I wanted to start. I then looked up on the seed packets how much spacing they needed between each plant. And I also looked at how tall they got. And then when I put them onto my design graph here, I went from tallest to shortest. So sunflowers are the tallest while celosia will grow the shortest. And this way, when I start designing my garden, I'll have an idea of what to tuck in the back and what should be more in the front. So because we're dealing with cut flowers, I'll be talking about a technique called pinching. It's going to promote branching. And in branching, you're going to want more space. So instead of packing them in tighter at 9 inches, we're gonna go with 12 inches because they're going to need the breathing room. In this graph, everything is denoted in feet. So the space that I'll be planting in is 4 feet by 12 feet. I'm going to mark that here on the chart so that I'll have an idea of space and something that I can reference. It really helps to give me a nice visual. So this is the size of my raised garden bed. Now to help, because I love colors, I'm going to put yellow as my sunflower. Them being the tallest, I'm gonna stick them right in the middle. So 6 feet puts me right at the middle of my bed, and then each square is 12 inches. So I'm gonna break this in two. I'm gonna put a sunflower here, and let's do 6 across. There we go. And then zinnias. I'm gonna work it backwards here. Zinnias is gonna be like a magenta color. And whatever I do, I like to break it up so that each side is kind of bilateral. I like to have triangular concepts to the design. So what I do here, I'm gonna probably mock over here. So let's see, now we're going to do zinnia, 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 zinnia. So I'm going to take that over here. And then I'm going to do marigold. No, let's see, marigold is orange. And going to do, let's see, I'm gonna put marigold, here's the middle here. I'm gonna do marigold, marigold. And I'm going to do dill. Let's see, dill, 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 dill. And now let's do slow shot in red. So how are we gonna do C, 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 and then C, 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 C. Okay, so now I'm gonna count up everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12. 8. 8. Slow shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 28. So by knowing the number of plants we need, we can determine how many seeds to start. It's always a good idea to plant extra seeds, and this helps to account for any failures. Our rule is an extra 20%. So if we want to plant out 10 plants, we need to start 12 seeds. Multiply the amount of plants you want times 1.2 to get your seeds. All right, we're out in the greenhouse now, and we're going to dive into container sizes because it can be a little overwhelming of where to start. So I know where you want to end, and that's either in a 6-pack or a 4-pack, because this is going to give you the root ball size that's going to be most successful in your home garden. The size of the pots or trays you use for seed starting is important because it affects the health and growth of the seedlings. You want to make sure that your whole seeding system is compatible so that all the pots, the inserts, the trays, everything fits into what you're watering into. So that solid bottom black tray that I'm putting all the inserts into is a 10-20 tray. And making sure that all my other components fit into it is important. Here's a closer look at channel trays. These are great for really small seeds or when there's a limited amount of space. Seedlings do need to be transplanted into larger pots after. So ultimately, you want to provide as much root development for your sprouts as possible while also working with the amount of space you have. Lastly, it's time to make the schedule. So what I like to do is group flower types by their start time together. And as a general rule, I'm sowing seeds every 2 weeks. So I'll likely group them by 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, or 12 weeks from my last frost-free date. I like to keep it simple. While weeks may vary on a seed packet or from growing information, I tend to favor the later and give myself more time. I find it easier to slow down plant growth rather than speed it up. So what I'm doing is putting my seeds together in batches. I do not want to be sowing seeds every day or even every week. It will burn you out. Once everybody's grouped, I put them in packets and then I put them into storage in my fridge. I have a seed folder and that's where I keep everything. Lastly, I make my schedule. I plug in my frost-free date and then count back the number of weeks suggested on the packets and mark it on my calendar when I need to pull my bag. So different flower groups require different start times, and I'll space that out accordingly. It's nice to document so that next year, if I thought, I probably could have started them earlier or later, I have reference and I can make adjustments to my schedule. Don't forget to set alarms in your smartphone. It's super helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And thanks for joining us on the farm today. We'll see you in the next video.